3 US presidents lost their presidency because they tried to establish controls over the financial markets.
That's right.
So it is a very difficult process, even if you look at the G20 resolutions. The G20 resolutions, I've been watching them, and I'm a student of these resolutions because we developed programs to help Arab organizations how to avoid and preempt crises like what happened in the West. So the G20 ordered a number of things, none of which has happened. For example, they wanted a revision of the policies on how to take provisions and reserves in banks and in companies, how to value assets, etc. Because if you implement these revisions, half of the Western companies will go bankrupt. So that was a very ambitious program on which practically nothing happened. Therefore, what I'm talking about is the United States of America faces a dilemma. It has to change, and it has to become like we in the Arab world. And I remember, and I'm very glad that the Arab world did not listen to the advice of Bush when he came to Sharm el-Sheikh on his last visits. And he spoke with such arrogance to the Arab world that the Arab world has to take his hands off of the business sector. The business sector knows how to regulate itself. Don't interfere with it, because that was the disaster, that was the cause of the disaster that we have in the United States of America.
So you gave the United States of America 10 years to recover.
Because it will take 10 years to change the laws.
What about the Arab world?
The Arab world will be, we have to divide it in different sections. The GCC countries are God-given gift of oil, which will help them out of its revenue to absorb any possible crisis. And this has happened, and we have seen it. And they managed very ably to get out of the crisis intact, including the United States Arab Emirates. I know that I see in your eyes concern about Dubai particularly. Dubai is not a country. Dubai is a city. And the country is called United Arab Emirates. So you cannot have a city, well, we have, San Francisco has been bankrupt for the last 20 years, but it has not gone bankrupt. And cities and governments don't go bankrupt. You know what happens? Bankruptcy, by definition, when it comes to government, is unlike companies. A bankrupt government is a government who cannot provide the necessary services for its citizen. Full stop. A country can go forever in financial difficulty, in economic crisis, whatever, but doesn't go bankrupt. It goes bankrupt in the sense that it is unable to help and attend to its duties to its citizens. So having said this, therefore, Dubai, as a part of the United Arab Emirates, has the benefit of the resources of the United Arab Emirates. And we have seen how Abu Dhabi came to the rescue. So I am not concerned at all about neither Dubai nor the United Arab Emirates. The Dubai Fund, the Dubai Monetary Development Fund, announced only last week that its assets are close to 1 trillion. 1 trillion, which means 1,000 billion. So I am not concerned about the Gulf countries.
Maybe Syria wasn't affected.
Syria wasn't affected because عسى أن تكرهوا شيئا وهو خير لكم. Because Syria did not depend on the international markets, it was, quote unquote, being penalized by the United States of America and has been not been given the privileges it has, has given to other countries. It was not part of the financial global market. So Syria came out again intact because of its self-sufficiency. The Syrian government very, very intelligently and competently was able to develop, under its great leadership, it was able to develop a plan for self-sufficiency. So they were protected. Similarly, to different extents, other Arab countries. In fact, there is a fallacy which we hear always in American literature, political literature. Arab partners. Americans talk about Arab partners and partnerships with the Arab world. I want you to name one partnership in the Arab world with an American company or government. There isn't one, including in the Gulf. There isn't. In fact, 70% of American partnerships, 70% of American foreign investments are in Europe. 70% of European investments are in the United States of America. These are the partnerships.
Yeah.
When you use me as
The
a
most
market,
affected in the, from the crisis.
when you use me as a market, when you use me to sign contracts for execution, this is not partnership. When you have a partnership, it means you and I are in business together for loss or profit, and that doesn't happen. So therefore, the countries that in the Arab world have, fortunately, now if you look at Europe, the companies that are going under are the partnerships, for example, General Motors partnership in Germany, in Britain, and all over the world. So fortunately, some Arab countries have not been so lucky. Fortunately, they have not been lucky to be partners of American businesses, are out of it. But again, unfortunately, and with great concern, I talk about two important countries, which are Egypt and Jordan. These two countries, and this is, of course, a reminder that peace does not solve economic problems on as a magic solution. It doesn't. We have seen that these two countries, although they have peace agreements, have been hard hit, and unfortunately without any support or help from the Western world.
You were also speaking about the future of the region and the countries here. You spoke about Iran also.
Iran, again, of course, is lucky to be an enemy of the United States of America, because this kept it from any negative impact. Which America inflicted on all its partners.
Yeah.
Because of the crisis America is faced and is facing. So the Arab countries, I am not concerned about the Arab world. Now, when I see Egypt, for example, and Jordan.
So you give it a 4-year maybe
I
time
would
period
say,
to
yes,
recover?
absolutely. I would say three to 4 years. The Arab world will replace itself in an inter-Arab relationship, which is the way out. I see the Arab world looking towards each other and seeing that the investment internally and inter-Arab is its future and is better and luckier than any investment they had in the West. Of course, then we have to look at our neighborhood, which is basically Turkey and Iran, and I wish again to compliment the Syrian leadership on this sense of direction. Next is a de facto geo-economic bloc developing between here up to China. This will be a future very important.
The revival of the Silk Road.
Exactly. I would like to emphasize that, as a matter of fact, not through agreements or WTO free trade agreements. If a common market is being developed between the countries of the Arab region, the neighboring regions, and India, up to India and Pakistan. By the way, we opened an office this week in Afghanistan. This is our office number 73.
Really? Congratulations.
Because we see, of course, we have offices all over the way from here, all through the Silk Line. We have offices all the Silk Road up to China. We are very privileged to be the only intellectual property firm registered and with an office in China.
An Arab one.
No, of any country in the world. That's
no,
an Arab.
you as an Arab.
As an Arab firm, yes. So this is going to happen. I happened to visit. We developed an agreement with the Chinese authorities to revive the Silk Road, and I hear that Syria has a Silk Road festival. I would very much like to work with this festival on the concept we developed with the Chinese authorities for.
It's a festival that speaks about the whole process. And
wonderful. I would like to be part of that.
Well, it's a very important step also to revive the Silk Road.
Absolutely.
Practically.